Gatsby? What? Gatsby. Hey friends, so today I decided I wanted to film a book review since in my English class we just finished The Great Gatsby, obviously, as you just saw. And I am obsessed with this book. I feel like it's kind of like a rite of passage to read Gatsby in high school because I feel like every English class in high school reads Gatsby. Look at my annotations. Most of them are comments. What are you gonna do? And so I decided to film this video, not just for like a book review, because last night I watched the movie and I have some comments on the movie too. So I will also be kind of doing a small movie review within this book review. Gatsby. I'll start off with some non-spoilery stuff just so people who haven't read the book can get excited and read the book. The novel is told from the point of view of this man named Nick Carraway. He moves from the Midwest, his hometown, to this area of Long Island called the West Egg. There are two. There's the East Egg, which is like super wealthy, like upper class people, and then there's the West Egg, which are the people that aren't exactly wealthy, like they try to appear wealthy and upper class, and it's all about that kind of like, you know, oh, my family was wealthy or my family did something great, so I technically fit into that higher status. But it's not like the East Egg where it's truly like upper class wealthy people. Nick moves next to this ginormous mansion which could only be owned by one person. Who could it be? Gatsby! And Gatsby is known for hosting these wild, crazy parties. But the thing is, nobody's ever really seen Gatsby because he's not really a part of his parties. It's all about this mysterious Gatsby. There are all these rumors spreading around about him, but nobody really knows who he truly is until Nick bumps into him at one of his parties, and that's where the story gets real. That's all I'm gonna really say because you really want to go into this book not knowing a lot about it, just because it's better to do that so that you can just really be immersed in the story, I feel like. Okay, bye non-spoilery people, go read the book. Now let's talk about the book, shall we? Let's just start with our narrator, Nick Carraway. I love Nick so much. Just his whole outlook on everything and seeing everything through his eyes makes everything seem twice as hilarious as it should be. Just because he's so sarcastic, and I thought he was kind of adorable because he was just so invisible. The way that he was like dragged around by so many people, such as Tom. We'll get to Tom in a minute because I hate him. And the way he's so approachable by everybody and everybody thinks, oh, I can confide in him because he keeps quiet. I can tell him rumors because he keeps quiet. When really, he's silently judging you so hard, and it is hilarious. One of my favorite scenes with Nick was the tea party, and he was just sitting there with Daisy and Gatsby, and they're just sitting in his house in his living room surrounded by all these plants. And he's like, I was suffering from basically secondhand embarrassment and secondhand awkwardness. These people are being awkward, and I have nothing to say because I don't speak to people because I'm Nick Carraway and I don't talk. And then he has to go stand outside in the rain to give them privacy. That is just so sad, but so funny. Another really funny part was after that really intense scene with Gatsby and Tom, and they fight, and then Gatsby and Daisy leave, and he goes, I just remembered, it's my birthday. Nick! He doesn't really know what love is either. He's obviously intrigued by love, which is why he tells the story of Gatsby and Daisy. He doesn't really know what it is, and that's shown through his relationship with Jordan and how he doesn't talk about it at all. He's just like, I don't really care if I go out with you. I kind of like you, but I don't. And yeah, I just thought he was a really fun narrator because sometimes when narrators are like the observers, they're not interesting. Fitzgerald did such a good job of showing events through Nick's eyes. I felt like you saw a lot through Nick's eyes, which is why it's so necessary for him to be so awkward and just kind of there. I kind of want to talk about Daisy. Okay, I have really confused feelings about Daisy. I loved her all throughout. I don't think it was her fault. that she didn't go to Gatsby's funeral. I feel like it was Tom that knew something happened to Gatsby, because Tom did tell Wilson that it was Gatsby's car that ran over Myrtle. So I feel like he tried as hard as possible to keep Daisy away from that, because he knew that if she knew that Gatsby died, she would never be the same. At least knowing that Gatsby was like alive in Daisy's mind, just for her to know that Gatsby was alive and could have a chance at like second love possibly, would make her happier and would enable her to live on. Whereas if she knew that he was dead, a part of her would be dead as well, and she wouldn't be able to fully put her heart into loving Tom. I feel like she did love Tom at some point. People could argue, I guess, that she had no choice. She just had to choose someone wealthy who she knew who could support her. Daisy wouldn't do that because she's so emotional. She's such an emotional person. She wouldn't go into a marriage without at least liking them just a little bit. She's just this big ball of emotion inside that she can't show because it's not okay in her society to be that way, to show that many emotions. It's more popular to be completely indifferent. And that's what I liked about the movie, is that it showed that this was just Nick's perspective. Other things could be happening behind the scenes, that Tom could be doing something, that Daisy could be doing something, that it could technically not be Daisy's fault that she didn't go to his funeral. And everything. Okay, now I shall talk about my favorite character, Mr. J. Gatsby. His smile. Oh my gosh. I feel like they did that so well in the movie, showing his understanding and charismatic smile, because that's the one feature about him that explains so much about his entire personality. It's his hopeful and kind smile that just defines Gatsby. I like how it was his smile and not like his eyes, because usually in books people show their emotions in their eyes, and authors always talk about, oh, his eyes were full of sadness, or his eyes were full of fear. But this one, it was his smile. The tea party scene. I was geeking the entire time because he is so freaking adorable in that scene. Oh my gosh. And he's bringing all these flowers and he's like, okay, Wednesday's gonna get here. And he's sitting and he's so nervous. He's like, okay, do you have everything? And then Nick's like, I'm pretty sure we have everything. It's like 1 minute until 4 o'clock and he goes, I can't do this. And Nick's like, dude, pull yourself together. It's a girl. And he's like, well, it's a girl that I met like 5 years ago and I haven't seen her since then. And in the movie, I thought they did such a good job with Daisy and Gatsby. And that scene was my favorite scene in the entire movie, probably. I like how they paralleled the score music. It was Young and Beautiful by Lana Del Rey, and they like incorporated it into the score, so it was like still the melody into the score. And they used that in the flashback of Gatsby and Daisy, but they also used it when they see each other for the second time during the tea party scene when he walks in through the rain, which I thought was beautiful and gorgeous, and I cried a little bit. Gatsby as a character is so interesting. I never have read a character that was so concerned about having everything just as it was in the past, or having this return to something that was behind him. Because, and I feel like a lot of the books that I've read, it's usually someone trying to get away from the past or escape who they were and what they did. But Gatsby is someone who is so in love with the past and in love with his idea of the past that he's glamorized and made into this beautiful golden dream that he had. Why do characters that I like have to die? I loved Gatsby so much, and then he had to get shot. What the heck? Other than characters, I really liked the story. I liked how it was not only a love story, but it was also a story of friendship between Gatsby and Nick. Now, I have a theory. So, you know that scene in the elevator with Nick and the elevator person? If you know what I'm talking about, or if you don't, it's the one at Myrtle's party and on page 37 and 38. And that kind of gives you the hint that maybe Nick's not straight. but I do think that he had more than friendly feelings for Gatsby. I feel like he was kind of in love with Gatsby too. Just the way he talks about him so admiratively, and how Gatsby is the only person he really gave a compliment to. I kind of want to talk a little bit about the movie. I thought it was a wonderful adaptation, and I thought the filming was so satisfying to watch. Just everything flowed in place right when it was supposed to. When Nick was at Myrtle's party, and it showed the separation between the haves and the have-nots, and it just showed that separation, which I thought was beautiful. And one of my favorite parts was when the trumpet player is playing the trumpet and then the sun goes down. I thought that was really cool. I also thought the score was really beautiful. I think they incorporated the soundtrack really nicely into it, because some movies incorporate the soundtrack movie and it sounds gross and not okay. City of Bones. Okay, well that's gonna be it for today. So if you have any video ideas, or if you want to tell me if you've read the book and if you love it and if you love Gatsby, then leave it in the comments down below. I want to know your thoughts on this book too, because that's like why I'm filming this video, because I want to talk about Gatsby and the greats of Gatsby. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you want me to do any other book review videos, if you have any book recommendations for me, I love those, even though I have like a huge TBR list, a huge TBR shelf over there that I just can't even look at, or else it stresses me out. By the way, right now I'm rereading A Court of Thorns and Roses because it's my favorite, and so I can read A Court of Mist and Fury, where I am right now with my readings. I have a lot of video ideas, so I'll be putting them out hopefully this summer. I'll be doing a lot of videos this summer because I'll actually have time, and it's great! And I can actually sit down and like talk to the internet. And I don't just do book reviews, I can also do album reviews, I can do song reviews. Yeah, little party never killed nobody. Subscribe if you want to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, I'm sorry. I probably rambled a ton, so that makes sense. I just need to work on condensing because I talk so much. This video is going to take me so long to edit. Oh my gosh. Okay, well that's it. Goodbye! You know what song I listened to today that reminded me of Gatsby for some weird reason, or Gatsby's parties? I was listening to Panic at the Disco in the car, duh. Vegas Lights came on, and it sounded like Gatsby's party. In the Vegas Lights. I really like Panic at the Disco.